Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So Steve Bunce, who works for the BBC, also Box Nation and BT Sport, has said that when it comes to Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker, that Joseph Parker has the edge because he's done more 12-round fights than what Anthony Joshua has. In other words, Joshua hasn't done any, but Parker, for his last 3 title fights, if you like, has gone all 12 rounds. And this is what Steve Bunce had to say. As a pro, Parker, what he's done is get an awful lot of rounds in. All 3 of his world title fights have gone the 12-round distance. Some of those weren't necessarily that easy. In some of those fights, he really had to think. Now, people in the Joshua camp will say Joshua hasn't needed the rounds because he's bashed and smashed people up. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Sure, he has bashed and smashed people up, but without a doubt, of the 2 of them, the better professional boxer right now, not the most explosive, but the better schooled, the guy who's got the better skill set looking at a 12-round fight is without a doubt Parker. Let's get that clear straight away. That's Steve Bunce's statement. You see, every time Anthony Joshua has a fight, Steve Bunce has a bit of a say on it, of course, and he's pretty, not negative if you like, but he's borderline negative towards Joshua. For obvious reasons, Steve Bunce is employed by Frank Warren. Obviously, Anthony Joshua is working for, or with, I should say, Eddie Hearn at Matchroom. So Steve Bunce is always going to have that little bit of a bias where he's going to be favouring Frank Warren's side and isn't going to give up any kind of props to a Matchroom fighter. So that's very obvious straight away. So really, he shouldn't even be talking about this fight, really, for the public, because he's not giving an honest opinion, in my opinion, of course. So when he says that Joseph Parker's gone 12 rounds, so he's better experienced, so therefore he has the edge over Joshua, right? But maybe he's gone 12 rounds because he's not as good as maybe what he should be. I mean, he went 12 rounds with Hughie Fury in his last one, and before then, Ruslan Kajanu, is it? Yep. And before then, when he won the title, Andy Ruiz Jr., again 12 rounds, and he also went 12 rounds with Carlos Takam as well. So you could argue that maybe he's not as explosive as maybe what he should be. But he's saying that Parker knows how to pace himself. But it's not that Parker wanted to go 12 rounds, just that his opponent took him 12 rounds. That's what it was. They were durable, just like he's durable. So I don't necessarily agree with him on that. I know where he's coming from, no doubt about it. Of course I do, but I mean, to give it the edge to Parker because he's done 12 rounds is a bit crazy. I mean, if you look at Joshua's last 2 fights, he went 10 rounds with Carlos Takam, so he's only, what, 2.5 rounds away from going the distance. His fight before that, he went 11 rounds and went through hell with Vladimir Klitschko. So it's not really that big of a deal. There's not that big of a difference as far as going 12 rounds. Joshua, yes, he has tanked out on a couple of occasions, but they weren't because of the pace of the fight. It's because he got tagged. You know, against Dillian Whyte, he went a little bit stiff, a little bit rigid, and they started puffing quite badly because Dillian Whyte clipped him with a good shot in the 2nd round. So again, you can't really say that was gassing out. I mean, who gassed out in the 2nd round, right? So then against Vladimir Klitschko, he knocked Klitschko down in round number 5 and started celebrating like a madman, as if he'd won the fight. That was very amateur, that was very stupid. And he puffed himself out a little bit, especially after he got clipped by Vladimir Klitschko. And then was on the back foot for pretty much the rest of the fight, right? Round number 6, again, he gets dropped. So, no, gassing out, not necessarily. Again, when he gets hit, it's like his body goes into shock. That seems to be the kind of way that I could probably put it. But 12 rounds for Joseph Parker, while it's good that he can do that, of course it is. And it is an advantage that he's got the experience of going 12 rounds, so you know how to finish a fight and go the distance, I suppose. But that doesn't give him the edge over Joshua. I don't think that at all. I do think explosiveness and power is what ultimately stops a fight from going the distance, right? Well, that's just my thoughts anyway. Drop yours below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.